JP Morgan is calling for record gold next year. What's that going to do to the price of silver? Yes, that JP Morgan, right? The biggest, the respected, not necessarily by us, but by a lot of people in the financial community, financial services firm is calling for record gold. We know what that'll do for silver, but why? What is their thesis for what's going on? We're going to cover that in this video. We're going to talk about why JP Morgan is saying that in 2024, we will break out to a new high gold level. And hey, I'm a firm believer that once we get to new record highs in gold, silver is going to follow. But once gold breaks above into that record territory, $2,100, $2,150 per ounce, it's going to be a quick rocket ship ride up to 2,600. There's been so much pent up demand. And once we break through that resistance, right, once that cup and handle pattern completes, guys, we're going to go from 2,100 to 2,600 very quickly. Hey, look, I called 2,000 gold by this weekend. As of a half hour ago, I appeared to be on track. I was optimistic that we were going to make it happen. But we got a big lesson. You know how that goes in life? Like, there's a song that says, when life looks like easy street, there's danger at your door, right? And that's exactly what happened to us this morning. We got hit with something out of left field. More. Do you believe it? Do you believe this? More great economic news. I read a headline, the Joe Biden economic miracle. Let me read this to you real quickly. This is interesting. Very, very, very interesting. U.S. GDP, this is from Zero Hedge, grew at an unexpectedly hot 2.4% in Q2, despite the Fed's aggressive tightening campaign. Then it says, so much for the Fed's attempt to slow down the U.S. economy. U.S. GDP growth in the second quarter was much stronger than expected, as activity proved resilient in the face of the Federal Reserve's campaign of aggressive interest rate rises. Or in parentheses, or at least Biden's persistent to paint the economy as stronger has never been this articulate. Right. Do we believe these numbers? You know, look, we could debate that all day long. Nonetheless, supposed strong U.S. GDP numbers take our knees out, silver and gold investors. Look, we're in this for the long game. Am I now willing to say I'm wrong about $2,000 gold this weekend? Yeah, I'm wrong, okay? And I was shocked. I honestly didn't even know we were getting GDP numbers. I just looked at the gold price before I came on with you today and down $20 an ounce, right? Hey, it's a long game. And when we hear about what JP Morgan is saying, and it's not just JP Morgan, why they're saying next year we're going to have record high gold prices, it starts to put all the pieces together. Let's talk quickly about the Fed rate hike decision yesterday. Hold on, I want to get your chat back up here. There we are. Good morning, Douglas Matz. Good morning, Coin Shop Chris. Yesterday, our old friend Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve raised interest rates, just like we expected, 0.25%. I want to give you some stunning statistics regarding what's gone on. This is the highest interest rates have been in 22 years. 22 years right now. Also, it's the 11th rate hike in a row. Yeah, we paused last month, but it's the 11th rate hike. Look, I know it's difficult. And then we get hit this morning with this GDP information. But, guys, it's critical to remember. Eventually, this will stop. I know it doesn't feel like it will now. And maybe I'm going to try to articulate this to you in clear language. What we could see happen is, even if the economy continues to quote unquote grow in nominal terms, we're going to get into a situation just because of the devaluation of the U.S. dollar, right? Just because the paper dollar, the electronic dollar, the paper euro, the electronic are being devalued. All the math, we've covered it ad nauseum, right? we're going to be in good shape. Yeah, sure, we got to go through a little bit of pain here, but I want to read you a few things regarding that I think are interesting regarding what Jerome Powell and the Fed did recognize yesterday. Bear with me, I'm getting there. Here we go. This comes from Yahoo Finance, and there's a couple nuggets in here that pertain directly to the precious metal markets. The Federal Reserve raised the target range for its benchmark interest rate by 0.25% on Wednesday and left the door open for more rate hikes this year. Wednesday's rate increase brings the Fed rate to 5.25 to 5.5%. Marks the 11th increase since March of 2022 and comes after the Fed held rates steady in June. Future rate hikes will be contingent on the impact of previous rate hikes on the economy. Okay, that's key to remember. And financial developments. The decision was unanimous. Here's a quote. Here's a quote from our friend Jerome. In determining the extent of additional policy firming that may be appropriate to return inflation to 2% over time, the committee will take into account the cumulative tightening of monetary policy, the lags with which monetary policy affects economic activity, that's key, and we're going to talk about that, and inflation, and economic and financial developments. And maybe also, Jerome, you might want to consider that half of the world is de-dollarizing, but we'll leave that for future discussions. The key here is the lags. He says the lags with which monetary policy affects economic activity. That's because all those rate hikes, including the one yesterday, it takes 6 months to 9 months to 12 months for the full impact of that to be felt in the economy. And that's what JPMorgan is talking about when they're talking about record gold and much higher silver in 2024. Okay? Yeah, today they painted some rosy Bidenomics picture. Everything's great. You should be happy. Enjoy the fact you're so lucky that you can have a second, third, and maybe there's a few of you out there that even have a fourth job, right? Everything's awesome in the economy. Half the population is on some type of government handout program. But everything's great. Don't look under the covers or anything. Just turn on your TV, watch Netflix, and everything's great. Guys, it's going to all come to a head, right? It's like a volcano when it's rumbling and getting prepared. And when it blows, it will blow. Yes, and now they're saying there's no recession. Oh, and magically today we get these great economic numbers. Let's just review real quickly. These are the same people who told you 2 years ago inflation was not going to be a problem. Then they told you inflation was temporary. Then they told you inflation was transitory. Were they right or wrong about that? Were they either not intelligent enough to see what was coming? Because a lot of us saw it coming. We all talked about it, right? Or were they lying? What about, and I have to throw this one in there, 2 years ago right now, Jerome Powell saying we're not going to raise rates till the end of 2023. Well, wait, is this article wrong we have from Yahoo Finance? It says they've raised rates 11 times in the last 18 months. We're not even at the end of two. So are we going to believe the Fed? Case closed, right? Let's shut it down, all right? What JPMorgan, and we're going to go into detail about why JPMorgan sees record gold, and we know what that'll do for silver next year, okay? But what they see coming is not good in the economy. And if JPMorgan's saying it, Bank of America is saying it, but I want to revisit quickly. We covered this more in depth yesterday, but Double Line Capital is ringing the alarm is the headline, right? I'll just read a little bit to you because we got to revisit this. Double Line Capital and our friend Jeffrey Gundlach is like the guru. I'm telling you, watch a couple. There's not a lot out there. You got to dig, but watch a couple interviews with Jeffrey Gundlach and you'll come away with a new appreciation. You want to know what his firm is saying right now? Again, another one from Yahoo. No, Bloomberg. Bloomberg says, headline, deep recession to force full percentage point. That's 1 full point. Fed cut. Double line warns. Okay? Hold on. I want to give you the meat of this one. It's a bold call based on weakening economic data that makes a recession probable next year, said Sherman. He's the chief investment officer. Coming even as the Fed's expected to raise rates, which they did, money markets are saying there's going to be a 1.3% cut next year. That's oh, man. We've had so many false starts. We've had so many Lucy pulls the football from Charlie Brown moments, right? But when it really does happen, and guys, it will happen, right? I heard a smart guy say, like, you know, when it rains and rains and rains, it feels like it's never going to stop raining, but it always stops raining. This can't go on forever. Sherman thinks policymakers will end up being slow to act and then have to unleash the biggest cut since the pandemic. Here's a quote. Okay, listen to this. Perk up. This is a gold nugget here. A multitude of economic indicators we look at are flashing either warning or recession signals. Warning or recession signals, said Sherman. Deputy Chief Investment Officer at asset manager Double Line. By the time they cut, it'll have to be 100 basis points. So I want you to think about this. This Double Line. Let me tell you, they manage $76 billion in assets. Okay, do you think they know what they're talking about? What do you think? Are we going to trust? This is what we need to, as we look at the big picture, consider. Are we going to trust what Double Line says? I feel very ironic. Are we going to trust what JPMorgan says? Maybe not. Nonetheless, we'll trust Double Line and we'll partially trust JPMorgan. They're saying recession. Or are we going to trust our government officials? Are we going to trust Double Line or our government? Do we believe the GDP numbers that were so great that just completely took us out from under our knees? We weren't the big news of the week was the Fed. What the heck? They had another trick up their sleeve to kill gold and silver this week, right? But they can't keep us down, guys. Even in the face of all of this, remember the gold and silver prices we have right now. Yes, we know they should be so much higher. I understand. But does it make sense to you that we also need to take a step back? And again, you hear this from me darn near every day. That's why Susie calls me Repeater Ron. But in the face of so many adversities, silver and gold have continued to do okay. You know, we'll hang in there, all right? Here's what's going on with the banks. Right? What is that? Do we have any kind of banking? I mean, every time we turn around, there's more shenanigans. Now PacWest is being acquired by some other. These banks are in trouble, guys. The banks are giving the Fed a run for their money when it comes to smoke and mirrors, right? Their commercial real estate portfolios the banks have, their bond portfolios. They are giving the Fed, hey, thank you for the super chat, Sharon. Wow, thank you. Very much appreciated. Very much wow, another one, Daniel. Thank you. Thank you, guys. But the banks are giving the Fed a run for their money when it comes to smoke and mirrors. They just are. If you look under the hood of the banks, it is just a complete joke. And remember, right? And I guess the banks are part of the Fed, so that doesn't surprise us too much. But the whole system is smoke and mirrors. Remember that, right? We can't forget that. In 1970, the year I was born, the dollar was backed by gold, right? Here, I'm going to get Neil's toilet paper out. Where did I put Neil's toilet? Here, Neil's toilet paper. This is called Las Vegas toilet paper. Richard Cooper sent it over from England for our good friend Neil. Neil Hahn Dynasty, the Platinum Guru. Don't forget, guys, all of it, right, is based on nothing. 1970, it was backed by gold. 1971, it became backed by nothing. Oh, isn't that interesting? So now we are in what I would like to call an environment of Disneyland accounting. I didn't make that one up, but I think it totally sums up what's going on in the financial sector and with our monetary system. It's total Disneyland accounting. It's not tethered to any type of reality, right? Reality is physical silver. Reality is physical gold. Remember, you can convert your Las Vegas toilet paper. You can convert it into real metal. But boy, just back up till 1969, you know what? Our coins had real metal in them. They had real silver. Now it's all based on Disneyland, right? It's all make-believe. It's all based on confidence, a con game. Don't forget that, okay? Here's another piece of talk about this real estate situation. They call it, doom and gloom when it comes to what's going on with the banks and commercial real estate. Here's just one more quick example. This one comes from Zero Hedge. The article says, here's the headline: I see a wave coming. A wave, not a good wave, like a wave that can knock stuff out. The value of Baltimore City office tower nearly cut in half during the panic. Real quickly here, the Inner Harbor District in the Baltimore City is experiencing severe commercial real estate downturn. We reported last week that 2 office towers were sold at massive discounts. Now a third at 100 East Pratt Street. Somebody got a deal on this one, guys. You ready for this? Was reassessed at a 45% discount compared with what it was originally assessed at. That would be like your house. Let's say you have a house that you bought 4 years ago for $400,000, right? And you get it reassessed because you need to get, redo your loan on your house. You took out a mortgage on it. You paid $400. You get it reassessed, and the guy comes back and says, well, congratulations. You made a crappy investment. Your house is now worth not $400, but $210,000. And you go to the bank and say, we need to redo our loan. And the bank says, we aren't loaning you any money on that house. It's worth practically half of what you paid for it. So this is what was inciting fears that a domino effect will ripple across the area, according to the Baltimore Business Journal. I mean, it's just the plunge in office tower valuations means the city's commercial tax revenue will take a sizable hit. That's the other big sleeper, right? We think, oh, the banks are in trouble because of well, there's something that could affect you and me, right? More than just the banks going kaput. Another big factor involved with this commercial real estate getting knocked out at their knees is the fact that a lot of municipal budgets are based on tax revenue based on the valuation of this. So the fire department, the police department, a lot of the municipal services, right? They could lose significant amounts of funding. Let's talk about JPMorgan, okay? Right? So we know. I don't care what they say this morning about the gosh darn GDP numbers that are so great and so awesome and that are killing silver and gold. We know there's big trouble out there. When we listen to the people that really are smart, right? The Jeffrey Gunlock type guys from Double Line Capital. When we listen to the people that really, here's another good one. Let's talk about one more, because I thought everything was okay out there, but maybe everything's not okay out there. Where is it? Hold on here. Remember Yellow Trucking, the third largest trucking company in the United States? Huh? Yeah, they're in trouble, and they were dealing with their unions. They move a lot of product for Walmart and for Home Depot, right? And then we're saying, what is that telling you? That like these trucking companies are experiencing major issues. Oh, we got 100 thumbs up. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 111 thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for being here. We're trying to get to 25,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you enjoy this content, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up. When we get to 200, I'll ring the darn cowbell. Yeah, over there. That's a real special treat, I'll tell you. Okay? But they're telling us, guys, they're telling us everything's okay. But the third largest trucking company, right? Oh no, everything's okay there. Don't look over there. The economy grew at 2.4%. We had Ron from Ron's Basement, his twin daughters. They're out of school for the summer, so we had them add up the econ numbers. Yeah, right. Do you think? Or was it your kids or grandkids that added up the econ numbers? So this is the third largest trucking company. And then everything's going down. Then it's all okay. And then we get this news yesterday. It says, an executive at trucking giant Yellow tells the staff that they will file for bankruptcy on Monday. Oh, really? I thought everything was okay, right? I thought business was booming. Walmart and Home Depot, all these manufacturers, third largest trucking company in the world. Yellow's senior vice president of sales informed her staff on Wednesday that their last day would be Friday. And the carrier will file bankruptcy on Monday, according to 3 employees who attended the video call. Yellow is the third largest company, trucking company, and employs some 30,000 workers, including around 22,000 Teamster members. The sales employees were approved to tell customers of the bankruptcy plans and to take paid time off. Oh, they get paid time off for the rest of the week. Wow. You're getting laid off. Today's Wednesday. You're losing your job on Friday, but we're going to give you the rest of the week off. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. My heart goes out to people that are losing their job. There's going to be a lot more people losing their jobs. Very likely as we move into the coming months, the coming quarters, as we go through the end of the year, right? We have 5 months left. Look, I could be wrong, okay? I was wrong about my $2,000 gold prediction. I was right up until about 45 minutes ago, but I can be wrong. But guys, you know, the smartest people in the room are telling us to buckle up, right? We got all these interest rate hikes that we haven't felt the effects of yet, that are barreling down upon us. We have all this commercial real estate trouble that's barreling down upon us. We have all the banks that have they're in Disneyland. The banks are in Disneyland, right? Remember this. This is going to scare you, and it should. Okay, if you had thank you for the super chat, Mr. Kaiser. Wow, man, I'm a lucky guy. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. It helps a great deal. Trust me. But if you went to the bank today and gave your bank $50,000, or let's say you did it 2 years ago, they take that money and they loaned it out to an investor who wanted to buy commercial real estate. Okay? Well, guess what? Now that commercial real estate is worth half as much, or maybe 60%, or maybe 70%, or they took your $50,000 and they bought bonds 2 years ago that are now worth 70% of what they pay. But they don't have to recognize that. That's the big key for you to remember, guys, especially with the bonds. They can just hold them on their books at the price that they paid. But if you show up and want your money back, and they got to sell those bonds to give you your money, guess what? They don't have the money. That's as easy as that. I'm not trying to freak you out, okay? It'd be like if you did it with me. Hey, send me $100K, right? And then I'm going to invest it. I buy bonds. Let's say I buy stocks, whatever I do with it, right? And it doesn't turn out. And then a year later, you come to me and say, I want my money back. And I'm like, and I would never do that, right? But I'm just using this as an example. I say, I'm sorry, I bought a gold mining stock 2 years ago, and now it's only worth like 63% of what I paid. I can give you 63% of your money back, but don't worry, because you're covered by the FDIC, The FDIC, they got your back. They'll cover you up to $250,000. The only problem is they don't hardly have any money in their insurance. There's supposedly like some off. The mic was supposed to be off in some video of these guys talking, like laughing, saying, "We don't have the money to cover that." Where the money will come from? Let me tell you where the money. Oh, and I got a box I got to open later, guys. I forgot to tell you. Here, look at this. Came in the mail yesterday. Check this out. We're gonna open this later. Okay? It's heavy. It is heavy. It's real heavy. There might be some magic inside here, but they don't have your money, okay? It's a big mess. Oh, where will they get the money? Well, they'll get. You know who they'll go? They'll get the money from our good friend Jerome Powell. He'll just print some money up. He'll save absolutely everything. Okay, let's talk about JPMorgan. Why? Now, within the context of everything we talked about, consider that as we hear about what JPMorgan is saying regarding gold. This is an article from Kitco. Hey, Niels, our friend Niels wrote this one. JPMorgan Chase. Okay, yes, that JPMorgan that's been convicted of manipulating the gold and silver price. Well, now they see the gold price at record highs in 12 to 18 months. Interesting, Niels. Growing expectations that the Federal Reserve is close to ending its latest tightening cycle, and the threat of an impending recession will continue to support gold and silver prices, according to the last comments from JPMorgan Chase. This Greg Shearer, he's the executive director of Global Commodities Research, said that he expects the Federal Reserve to start cutting interest rates by the second quarter of 2024. Again, this is JPMorgan Chase. And that falling real U.S. yields will be a significant driver for gold. According to JPMorgan's mid-year forecast, analysts are looking for gold prices to average the second half of the year, okay, that's this year, to average around $2,012 per ounce. Let that sink in. JPMorgan is telling us that over the next 5 months, we could have the gold price averaging $2,012. What will that mean for silver? Tell me amongst yourselves. Talk about it in the comments. What do you think the silver price? Buddy Rumble, the Louisiana gold guru, who I'm going to be talking to Monday, he's talked about $30 silver by January. I mean, I don't know. Okay, Mr. Shearer, that's Greg Shearer, Executive Director of Global Commodity Research at JPMorgan, said in his latest note, this is interesting. You want to hear about 2024? What they're saying? In 2020, in his latest note, sees gold prices averaging around $2,175 an ounce by the fourth quarter of 2024. That's basically 1 year from now, with further upside risk. Okay, that means it can go higher if the U.S. economy does fall into a recession. Mr. Shearer, we have a question for you, right? What do you guys think would happen if we fell into a really bad depression? Oh, I'm sorry, recession. I said the D word. I can't say that. We found a really, really bad recession, right? And maybe even the D word, a depression, and things get real bad. What do you think would happen to the silver price? What do you think would happen to the gold price? It could get very, very interesting. Shearer noted that the deeper the recession is, the more aggressive the Federal Reserve will have to be in cutting interest rates, which would be supportive of gold. So we've got this guru from JPMorgan Chase. I respect much more the guys at Double Line. Nonetheless, they do agree that we are heading for really challenging economic times. And we have our government, Joe Biden, right? Oh, good old Uncle Joe, telling us this morning, don't worry, be happy. Everything's great out there. Look, the economy's growing at 2.4%. You know, what are you worried about? You have nothing at all to worry about. What do you think, guys? What do you think on this? Here he says a quote, "We're in a very prime place where we think gold ownership and long allocation to gold and silver is something that acts as both a late cycle diversifier and something that will perform as we look to the next 12 to 18 months." Wow. I don't know, guys. What do you think about this? Let me know. I'm going to go to the comments. I want to hear what you guys are saying. Hello, Marshmans. Hello, we the people. The war is growing at 2.4%. Hey, Buddy Rumble, Gregory Green, Marshmaz. What goes down will go up. Now is the time to buy. Yeah, today, guys, we got our knees chopped out on us. I mean, took me by complete surprise. I didn't even know. I'm sorry, I didn't follow the economic calendar close enough. Coin Shop Chris wants me to tell you my email. Yeah, guys, I will never be careful on YouTube, on my channel, on any channel. There are scammers out there. People that will take my picture, make a fake profile, tell you to call them on WhatsApp, blah, blah, blah. I will never, ever, 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 right, ask you to contact. If you want to contact me, get a hold of me via my email, ronsbasementsilver@gmail.com. It's in the description of every video. Susie's email is in there as well. We are never going to ask you to click on this link. We're never going to ask you to in the comment section. Okay, if you want to help us out, you can always give us a super chat here, and we have a little PayPal button in the description of the video. But don't fall for it. Always be careful any link you click on. Always think about the link. Think about the link. I'm sure I didn't make that up, but that's a good best practice for your online security. Okay. Hello, Buddy Rumble. Hey, we got a box to open, guys. Right here. This came in the mail yesterday. We're going to open it in just a few minutes. Okay. It's heavy. I don't know what's in there. That's going to be an interesting one to open, that's for sure. I came for the cowbell. We're almost to the cowbell, guys. What a cruddy day. Somebody give us an update on how far down. Is gold down, what, $25 an ounce now? Is gold down $30 an ounce? It's got the feeling of one of those days. What about silver? What is it down? Is it down 50 cents? Is it down 60 cents? I'll be curious to get an update. Hey, Sharon Johnson says, Ron, what goes down will go way up this time. Yes. Hello, Thomas. And never got a receipt. Thomas, Thomas, I checked. I didn't get that on PayPal. Susie had me check, so I don't know what went wrong there. Make sure they didn't take the money out of your account because we never got it. There is a PayPal link in the description of all the videos. 50, 60, down. Silver down 3%. What? Wow. Gosh, silver down 77 cents. Silver down 75. Gold is down $50. Oh, well, guys, yes, what goes down will go up. This is not a good morning to be invested in the precious metals. Wow, man, what a bummer. 1946. But gold down, okay, gold down $27.50. That's not so bad. I thought somebody said gold was down $50. Still, who knows where the day could go. We got to remember, 1946 gold. I'm going to go on a little time. Think about this. What about if we look at it from a broader perspective, a broader time perspective? Let's jump in, and I don't have charts in front of me. Let's jump in a little time machine and go back 5 years, okay? What was gold at then? We know gold has been like 1,600, 1,800 recently in the last couple of years. We know silver was down to what? Wasn't it 17? It was at 22 an ounce back in earlier this year, as I remember. So, yes, this is challenging. Buddy Rumble says he feels like we're at a new floor for the gold price at 1900. It could be much, much worse. So let's hang in there. Okay. Let's, let's remember at the end of the day, I hate to say it, right? But this stuff, yeah, right? Las Vegas toilet paper, it's paper. This is paper. And this is the most tangible version of it. The rest of it is electronic, right? Where's my dollars? Where's my bank account? It's all make believe that gold and silver are the real money. Everything else really is unicorn fart dust. Is Susie. Susie's not home. She's over taking care of her elderly mother, leaving me here as a single parent to take care of these wonderful daughters of ours. Hello, Gerald Draper. The COVID lows were the floor. Yes, you saw the floor then. The cards were shown. Tom Finn, Ron, not your fault on silver price forecast. My experience has been a long-time stacker, mining holder. Right when you think it should soar up, it can get whacked. Temporarily. Yes. Yes. When life feels like easy street, there is danger at the door. That's right, Tom. And then it's always like when you least expect that it can do well, it'll take off. We're doing okay, guys. We're doing okay. We'll navigate these waters together. Choppy waters? Absolutely. We're fighting like a little silver and gold war is the way I look at it, right? The powers that be keep throwing, eventually they surrender. Because you know why? You know why you're in good shape with silver and gold? I'm going to tell you why. Some people call it God's money. Look, this is not a religious channel. Maybe you believe in God, higher power, whatever, right? The mysteries of the universe. But we know one thing for sure. Gold and silver, I'll call it Mother Nature's money, right? And Mother Nature always wins. Gravity always wins. You can only dam a river for so long. You can't permanently dam a river. You can dam them for a long damn time, but you can't dam them permanently. And eventually, silver and gold will prevail. Look, I can see them. They're over there sitting in the corner of my basement, right? Patiently waiting. We've always been on a gold standard. We've always been on a silver standard. Yeah, Nixon, he even admitted it, temporarily took us off, right? And we've had monetary mirage, I like to call it, Disneyland, right? Whatever, over the last 50 years, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse, culminating where we are now. Only 33 trillion in debt. Peter Grandich is like, in the 80s, if you told me trillion, I would have had a heart attack. Right? Imagine if somebody had told you just 20 years ago the condition that our country would be in right now. All this massive debt, a growing deficit that gets added to that debt, a growing interest expense, which adds to the deficit, which adds to the debt, which, oh my God, it's just a big spiral of crap. I'm sorry. God's Children Are Not for Sale. The Sound of Freedom. Yeah, that's supposed to be a great movie, guys. I know very little about it, but The Sound of Freedom is like, it's kind of like Us. It's like people that made a movie about this child trafficking. I don't know a lot about it, but it's not the mainstream, right? It's not Disney or MGM or one of those, but it's just knocking it out of the park. Where's the growth coming from? Well, that's my other question. Let's say we got all this economic growth, and we're going to get to the box. I'm going to do it real soon. This box. And I have some scissors. I lost my big scissors. I have a feeling one of my daughters took them. God knows where they are. So I got these little suckers, but we're going to dig into the box. I forgot what I was going to say. JPMorgan says, who is Jeffrey Epstein? Never heard of her. Yeah. Hello, Buddy Rumbo. Hello. Coke going down. Hunter is happy. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Bear day today. It's just going to be an interesting 10 years ahead of us. Again, think if they told us this not too long ago, right? That we'd be in this situation. We would not have believed them. I'm going to open the box, guys, and then I got something I got to spill the beans. I was going to save this for a future, but I got another piece of information that is unbelievable. about silver and gold. I didn't believe this. It shocked me. It was like last week when I learned that there's more above ground gold than silver. I'm like, what? And that really is true. But this is a different fact about what's going on with gold, and it has to do with younger people. And if it has to do with gold, it has to do with silver. You know that, right? So I'll spill the beans. I was going to save it, but I'll spill the beans on that one because it's just too good not to talk about right now. Make sure I've got it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and by the way, the Chinese are selling their dollars. That's another headline. Yeah. Our friends, the Chinese, they're dumping the dollar. I wonder why. I don't know. Let's open this box. What do you say, guys? Hold on. I got to close this down for a second. All right. Where's the scissors? Here we go. It's the great box opening. I wonder what's in the box. This should be interesting. Here we go. I broke through. Oh, wow. This is heavy. I wonder what this is. Hey, thank you for the super chat. Wes, I'll come back. Oh, man. This is well packed. This better not be a giant unicorn fart. Look at this. I've never seen this stuff. That's interesting. Wow, there's more of it. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got to get the scissors out again. Sorry, guys. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. You aren't going to believe what's in here. Oh, wow. Wow. I finally got it. My very own crystal ball. That was the problem with my prediction for, hold on, I got to get the base out. That was my problem with the prediction for $2,000 gold. Oh, wow. It has a beautiful little wooden stand. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And I need to say, I got to be careful here. Wow. Check that out, guys. You know who this came from? I know who this came from, and he's on the live stream right now. I'm going to very carefully set it over here. Oh, we got 200 thumbs up. Can you see it? There it is. It's right there. Hold on. I'm ringing that bell for 200 thumbs up. That came from our friend Joe Fowler. This beautiful crystal ball, which will now be a permanent part of Ron's Basement, came from our friend, a guy who already does more than enough for Ron's Basement, Mr. Buddy Rumble, the Louisiana Gold Guru. Thank you, Buddy. Buddy has a crystal ball, right? This guy can predict. And we're going to have Buddy on next week. We're going to be filming a video Monday morning, so be on the lookout next week. Buddy, you and your mom, Belle Star, and Belle Star's been on the channel, Buddy's mom, right? Next time I talk to Belle Star, I'm going to ask her if Buddy was a cute baby, because I think Buddy was a cute little guy. Anyway, both of them have been very generous with their time and contributions to the channel, and now I got my own crystal ball. Thank you, Buddy. All right, guys, I got one more big, interesting piece of information for you. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. I want to know if you believe it. We're going to talk about this after we go through the details. This has to do with gold. And I'm telling you, hold on, I got to get the comments back up. Bear with me. I had to shut the computer so I could see. Hello, Wes. Wes, thank you for the super chat, okay? I don't think I missed any other. Cowbell! The Chinese are in trouble. What the heck? We're getting killed today in our gold and silver investments, but we are okay. We're okay. Hello, Gene Richards. The future looks murky. Man, you guys, look at all these comments. 450 people here. You're a basement dweller. I forgot to tell you that. When you're here in Ron's Basement, you're part of the club. Yeah. right? We help each other. We're friends. We love to talk about silver and gold. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Give this a thumbs up. One of these days, we're going to get to 300 thumbs up, and I don't know what I'm going to do. You guys, if you have any ideas on what I could do at 300 thumbs up, send me an email. Anything is under consideration. Soon, we're going to have a platinum bear. Neil has named him. We will be revealing that soon, so be on the lookout, because we got the silver bear at $85, right? The silver bear's still alive. Don't you worry. All right, guys, this is crazy. I don't know if I believe it. I want to know if you believe this, okay? Come on. What the heck are you doing? Hold on a second. Okay, headline. This comes from Market Insider. Headline: millennials, and those are the younger people. To me, they're younger. There may be some millennials here. Everybody's welcome. Boys, girls, millennials, everybody's welcome, right? We're gold and silver stackers. Millennials are hoarding more gold than boomers and Generation Xers. I'm a Generation Xers, as recession risk looms. That's according to State Street. Oh, okay. Let's just dig into this. I want you to tell me if you think it's true or not. Millennials are beating baby boomers and Gen Xers when it comes to investing in gold. Demand for the precious metal, widely regarded as a safe haven asset, remains strong as recession risk looms. How come everybody keeps talking about recessions and we get Joe Biden puts out his GDP numbers today telling you everything's fine? Does that make you scratch your head? Does that make you scratch your head? That makes me scratch my head. I would scratch it, but I don't want to mess up. I spent a lot of time getting this hairdo ready for you today. Gold has rallied almost 9% because you're important. That's why I spent all the time getting this hairdo ready. I did it like 4 times. You are the most important part. This is not RonTube, it's YouTube, and we're talking about gold and millennials. Gold's rallied 9% year to date and is approaching the key $2,000 per ounce mark. Well, I can add to that. That was until we got these phony GDP numbers this morning. But don't worry, everything's great. Buying gold is not as much of a gamble when it comes to investment strategies. Okay, safe haven asset, blah, blah, blah. And as much the precious metal is possibly an ideal choice for older, wiser, and more cautious investors. Isn't that what you always thought? I always thought like young people wanted nothing to do with gold and silver. Although I keep getting like my younger cousins' kids that are coming to me and sending me emails about gold and silver. But there's this common belief. Do you hear this out there that, oh, younger people don't like, but what about Wall Street Silver? What about Silver Degen Club, right? Those are full of, that's on Reddit. It's interesting stuff. You should check it out. Nonetheless, that's full of young kids, especially, not kids, young adults. They're young adults, right? Okay? So yeah, that says here, older, wiser, like baby boomers, right? It's a boomer. That's what they would make fun of. The Bitcoin people used to make fun of us and say, it's boomers. Gold and silver are for boomers, okay? Not really. According to the world's number 4 asset manager. This is where it gets crazy. Millennials are the biggest investors in gold, beating baby boomers and Gen Xers by a big margin, according to a report from State Street, which cites the findings of a survey by the SPDR ETF. Quote, on average, millennials have a higher allocation to gold at 17%. Thank you, Sharon, for the super chat. Man, you guys, super nice. Super nice. Thank you, Sharon. So millennials have a higher allocation to gold at 17%, with boomers and Gen Xers lagging behind at just 10%. And millennials reported a greater appreciation for the convenience of investing in gold through ETFs. That's interesting. George Milling Stanley, he's the chief gold strategist at State Street, and he wrote that in a report. Quote, more millennials than boomers or Gen Xers replied that gold ETFs are the best way to invest, 69%. Okay, so two takeaways. Unbelievable. Number one, do you believe that millennials have 17% of their money in gold? I mean, to me, it's shocking, but this is supposedly coming from State Street, the fourth largest asset manager in the world. But the other interesting thing is they aren't, if you don't hold it, you don't own it, people like us, right? Like most of us. They're okay with the ETF. We know there's some controversy, we'll call it, regarding whether these ETFs actually own all the silver or gold, that they claim to own. Nonetheless, the big takeaway from this article is it's positive. I mean, we've got young people recognizing, right? Silver and gold. They're sitting over. Look over in the corner of your room right now. They're sitting there. We've always been on the gold standard. We've always been on the silver standard, right? All these people that went running into crypto, that educated themselves about the evils of the fiat monetary systems, how it's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors, right? They all got burned. And now maybe they're looking and saying, well, gold and silver fix that. Remember the Bitcoin people used to say, Bitcoin fixes that. Well, maybe gold and silver fixes that as well, huh? Have we thought about that? The other thing I'll say, and I'm a staunch believer in this, I'm a big believer in if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Absolutely. But also, guys, we're going to need some electronic versions of gold and silver. Electronic versions that are tightly regulated and 100% backed up by real metal. Texas is talking about doing that. We've got pending legislation, right? We don't need a crypto type situation where FTX, where the gold and silver market gets tarnished because supposedly this thing. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. Let me read your name. Kata Beta Chicken. Bitcoin will dive and go into, yes, Kata Betikin. Yes, thank you. Right. We don't need, we need a regulated, solid, reliable system where people can store gold and silver and use it for everyday transactions. There's a number of options out there. There's Glent, or Gilt, whatever it's called. There's all types of the Utah Alpine Gold Exchange. There's a lot out there. What needs to be proven, and I'm not saying anything at all negative, I'll say positive about these companies, but we need established, proven resources, a way that people can use gold and silver in their everyday transactions, right? And I think that's a takeaway from that article as well. This younger generation is going to want that. They're not going to want to walk around with silver in their pocket. They will if they have to. Things get real bad. Don't get me wrong. That could happen. Okay. UPMA. Thank you, Sassy Silver. UPMA, Alpine Gold, gold backs. That's another option, right? Oh, interesting. You know what? This is super interesting. I talked to the CEO of Goldback, the inventor, the founder. He didn't invent the technology, but he founded the Goldback company. Here, let me show you. For those of you who don't know, this is a Goldback. You can go search through my channel. I did a recent interview with the CEO. That is a Goldback. That's a Wyoming Goldback. I used to have 8 of them. I gave 7 of them away because I thought they were so cool. Okay, it's hard, This is actual gold. It's 1/1000th of an ounce. And what's interesting is when I talked to the CEO of the company, he talked about how, and I can't remember the exact number, so you can watch the interview I did with him, but a huge percentage of their customers are younger people, okay? So I think there's this secret. There's two little secret things going on in the worlds of precious metals that aren't getting a lot of attention. Possibly, number one, right? Younger people are waking up to silver and gold. My cousin's son Bobby. I'll see if I can get him on the show sometime. Super smart young man. I think he's probably 28, maybe around 30, right? He's into it. He's interested. Yeah, and he's a really great guy, very smart, super good guy. A lot of younger people. We probably got some younger. Hey, let's ask this question. If you're under 40, that's not me, okay? So nobody feel bad. We are what we are. We are alive right now. But if you're under 40, do me a favor and you're on here, write the word under in the comment section. UNDER. Let's see how many people under 40 we have on the live stream right now. 48. Yeah, right? The other secret is women, females. Right? This used to be a boys club. Now we've got more and more. Wow, we got SFV, ZTF under. Sharon Johnson. Wes is under. Goldbacks are cool. Leaf Johnson, you just darn it. If you've been born 2 years later, I'm sorry. You're part of the over 40 club. Wes is 37. 60s and female. Kay Kaiser. 41. Craig Edmonds. Yeah, we'll give you a pass on that. Okay, Eating Silver is 30. Yeah, Elizar Jimenez is under. I'm under 80, Ancient Tom says. Unders, 49's pure. My pillow's over 40. Tennessee CNC says, you guys come with some funny stuff. Evie Poley's under. BCC's under. Marshmaz, 40 was a long time ago. Yes. Anyway, Dutch is 50. 30 times 2, Sharon Johnson. That's all right. Sexy 5. I don't get that. Mark is 67. Jonathan is 38. Jonathan Fergluski. Christopher Lopez is under. So we got a lot of people, guys. Maybe we underestimate that, the number of people under, okay? I don't care how old you are. I'm glad you joined me today, okay? This is awesome. Solar Therm says, when Bitcoin started getting traction, then they passed the price of gold. I felt bad for all the suckers who lose it all in the biggest pump and dump in history. Yeah, I still say Jonathan's 41, Joshua's under, Little Anami's under barely. Ron, email one more time. Again, guys, if you want to get in touch with me, ronsbasementsilver@gmail.com. I will not ask you to call me on Telegram or Telepath or WhatsApp or anything like that. Okay? Absolutely won't. Coin Shop Chris, thank you for being here today. Buddy Rumble, thank you for this awesome crystal ball. I'm going to put it to good use. I'm going to find a new place for it because I don't want it to fall and get broken. Thank you for being here, guys. You are the most important part of Ron's Basement. I appreciate you giving me your time. You guys are awesome. You know, let's have a good day. Yeah, today's a crappy day in silver and gold. What are you going to say, right? We know the long-term story. We know what's going to happen. And gosh darn it, if 5 years ago they told us that we'd be where we are right now, gold and silver price-wise, and the situation that the country's in and the world is in, we'd be like pretty probably optimistic about the future. I know it's easy, right? I do the same thing to get sucked into the day-to-day, what's going on. Thank you, buddy. But we got to look at the big picture. Can we get to 300 likes? I tell you what, I'll stay on for 4 more minutes. 4 more minutes. I don't want to take too much any more of your time, guys, but can we get to 300 likes? I'll ring the bell 30 times, but we need to come up with something better for 300 likes. The thumbs up thing, press it. Let's see what 274. We're almost there. We're going to get there. I'm going to stay on 4 more minutes. Let's see if we can do it. Joe Fowler's 40. Hey, Joe. Joe Fowler, guys, gave us this bell. We can all say thanks to Joe. The only regret I have is I didn't give Joe's. If you guys are ever in St. Louis and you want to come visit me in the basement, we can make that happen. And I want to start getting pictures of you, if you don't mind, sitting here at the desk. I think that'd be fun. I don't know. Moo, moo. Yeah, I'll moo and ring the bell. Rub crystal ball. Okay. Susie. Oh, that's my wife. Wow, that girl Susie's house, she has a really pretty picture on her profile. She's really pretty. 399. All right, 292. We need 8 more, guys. Can we do it? Huh? Can we do it? Don't you worry, right? JPMorgan tells us that we can get record gold next year. And I'm telling you that once we get that record gold, the launch up to 2,600, that's my number, is going to be real fast. Come on, guys, we can do it. Mary Radcliffe, let's have a gathering under the arch. Yeah, that'd be fun. Absolutely. Absolutely, Mary. We did it. We got 299 thumbs up. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. I'll do everything, okay? That was 30 rings of the bell. We'll ring the cowbell, but for 300 thumbs up, I'm going to carefully rub the crystal ball, right? Huh? Buddy Rumble's crystal ball. I'm looking into it. Guess what I'm seeing? I'm seeing $2,600 gold. I hope I see you soon. Okay, guys? Thank you for being here. Have a great day. All right? You're the best. Thank you.